So to do this entire unit, you have to be a professional factorer. So what do you know? We know simple trinomials. Here's a simple trinomial. Give me two brackets. X times x. What multiplies to 24? You got some factors for 24 and you got to get a 2 out of them. 6 times 4. And I need a plus 2 out of them. Okay, that's the simple trinomial. Complex trinomial. You need a Flood number, which is 12. Would you know any multiples of 12 that could make a 13? 1 times 12. Then I made a list. What are all the F options? So x times 3x is the only thing. What are the L options? Puzzle something. I need a 1 and a 12. I need a 1 and a 12. So here's my 1x and my 12x. Outside, inside combos, right? FOIL, outside, inside. Okay, difference of squares. 2 brackets. XX. Difference of squares, plus minus. This one has 8. Okay, then we had GCF. So what can you take out? I would be able to divide both by a 2 and an m. So 2m bracket. Two m times m. 2m times 4. Okay, so professional at that, right? And a new one that we're going to talk about is called a negative out. And it's really a GCF. So how do I recognize it? I don't like negative variables. So do you see how I have a negative x in here? I don't like that. So I'm going to GCF a negative 1 out. That's all I'm doing. It's a GCF. So if I take a negative out, what kind of variable do I have now? Positive x. And what kind of number do I have? Positive 6. Can you do that for the last question on your own? Negative out. Give me a negative out and then write me the factor. And if you can write your variable first, that helps your brain see things. So just try to write your variable first. So if you take the negative out, you get a positive x and a negative 9. Okay, restrictions. So what is a restriction? It's something you cannot do in math. And when we talk about fractions, what's the big no-no? What's the thing we can't do with fractions? Divide by 0. That's the thing I'm worried about. Fractions, you can't divide by 0. Okay, so when I ask you what's the restriction, your eyes are only on the bottom. What x value are you not allowed to be? 3. 3 minus 3 makes 0, and I don't want that. Okay, what x value do I not want to be? Make the bottom 0, what do I not want? I don't want x to be 0. Okay, again, only looking at the bottom. X can't equal fraction. How do you do these ones? Opposite divide. Okay, this is the same thing as when we factored equal 0. We're doing the same thing. Okay, can you give me this? It's a fraction. You don't want x to be? Did you write -4/5? Okay, this next one, I can't see what the values are. Does anybody have an idea what we should do to this to get there? I'm going to do math work before I answer it. What do we see? Simple trinomial. I'm going to factor. So what multiplies to 40? 8 times 5. Okay? So the process, the math work is the same, right? We're just looking at the concept related to fractions. And the last one, opposite divide. X can't equal 2. Okay, or you could have GCF'd.
On the test, should we be writing, like, when we're doing x should equal, should we be writing, like, the like equals and then, like,
This symbol?
yeah,
This symbol means cannot equal that.
so we should write that
Yep.
in? Okay.
On this, x is not allowed to equal 2. Okay, reducing rationals. Factor. All right, so what do you see? Top. I need you to get me a simple trinomial. Go ahead. What multiplies to 6? Okay, what do you see on the bottom? Recognizing the styles. What's the style on the bottom? Did you pick difference of squares? So 2 brackets. Okay, so nothing new. Factoring, factoring, factoring. Okay, so now we know this. If we have the same thing on the top and a bottom, what happens with fractions? They cancel. Okay, do you understand that these can't cancel? These x's can't cancel. Here's the rule. Put your hand up because this always happens. We're making another math oath. I will not cancel. Say that. I will not cancel adders. I will only cancel multipliers. So up here, it was this times this divided by this times that, so I could cancel. I can't cancel this. So if you don't see it, I'm going to show you something. Okay, would we agree that this makes 7 over 9? Good? If you tried to cancel an adder, I get 2/4. Is that the same thing? Would that be the same thing? No. Don't cancel adders. Okay? This makes 10 over 20. These are multipliers. If I canceled multipliers and dividers, I get 2/4. Are those the same thing? Yes. Okay? Does that make sense to you? Do not cancel adders. Cancel multipliers. Okay? Number 1 mistake in this unit. Okay, number 2 here. I need you to get me some complex trinomial factoring. Give me some complex trinomial factoring. Okay, check it out. Do we match? We're good? 2x plus 1? X plus 4? Okay, on the bottom, which style is it? It's something. We have to do something with it. It's not ready to go. Looking at the top. There's your, everything in this unit is always one of these. Did you see this is a negative out? Because it has a negative x in it. We don't ever factor with negative x's. So -1 out. What is your variable now? Positive x. What's your number? Positive 4. Okay, now that you're done your factoring, you look for cancels. I would give both people on a test like this full points, but this is a little just more sophisticated thinking about what's happening, but it's all good either way. Okay. Recognize your factoring. What do you got on the top? GCF it. Give me a GCF out of that. 2M bracket. Okay, the bottom. Are you recognizing stuff? I would see a GCF. M out. Okay, so both were GCFs. Do you see something more here? Can we keep going? Can we factor and factor again? So this would now be a simple trinomial. Okay, I'm just going to, I don't know, just so you're looking at those two. Okay, is there anything you can cancel from a top and a bottom set? M plus 1 and M. Those are multipliers, right? 2 times M times the bracket. So there, that can go. And that's it. Okay? Can I cancel those 2's? No, because it's an adder. This is attached with an add, so you can't be crossing it off. Okay, so this is the same thing when you multiply and divide. Okay, you're looking for anything top and bottom to cancel. So here's what I'm going to do. 4 and 2, cross off. What are you canceling them by? What do you want to divide out of a 4 and a 2? I'm going to divide them by 2. Making my top 10 and my bottom, I guess, a 1, but I'll probably revisit that. X cubed divided by x, there's really like a 1 there, right? What do you want to take out? If I take out an x, that would be gone. And if I take out an x, would this change to x squared? And the y's, what can we possibly take out? A y. So if we did that, gone. If we took out a y, the 2 would change to a 1. Okay, number 2, factor, factor, factor. Here we go. Difference of squares with 9. Difference of squares with a 9. Okay, x minus 2, nothing to do with it. So it's just repeat. Okay, what should we do about this divide fraction business? Times and flip. Okay, so this one, I'm going to do it on the bottom now. What multiplies to 3 and adds to negative 2? Okay, what do you want to do with this? What's your first maneuver when you look at it? Anybody recognize the strategy? Out of my chart, what do you want to do? So you have 5 options. Did you pick negative out? Because it's factoring with a negative x squared, so negative 1 bracket. Okay, so now I'm going to go -1 bracket bracket. Can you make this simple trinomial style? What multiplies to 2 and adds to -1? Okay, we're ready. We factored. Now we look for cancels. Do you see anything from a top bottom? So I can see x plus 1, top bottom. I can see an x minus 2 on a top and a bottom. I can see an x minus 3. So now I have to write down, what am I left with? I had this and this. This was everything I had left. All right, let's see if we can do this one quickly. Give me simple trinomials, and another simple trinomial. There's your setup. You got a bunch of simple trinomials. Okay, only look at mine when you are done. Yours. Okay, how is it going finding multiples of the -6 to make 5? Be careful, are you picking 1 times 6 or 2 times 3? There's almost 2 options, but one is not good. Okay, so this would be one that would trick a lot of people because 2 and 3 kind of make 5, but they would both have to be positive, which wouldn't work, okay? Okay, cross-offs. What do you see from a top and a bottom? Anything on a top and bottom? Okay. I'm going to offer a candy. Somebody who feels confident in telling me what my final answer is going to be. Raise your hand if you feel really confident in telling me how to write my final answer. Or candy, if you want to raise your hand and say it out loud. 1 over x plus 6 is right. Oh, sorry, not enough. Chill. Okay? So a lot of the times people write x plus 6 because that's all they see, but don't forget it's on a bottom. So you need to write 1 over. Okay? And here's another illegal move that I see. Okay, here's an illegal move. I see people who do this. What's wrong with what they did? It's a bottom. Is that a cancel? No. It has to be a top bottom to cancel, right?